Anthony B's legacy is forged in fire, literal and symbolic. For more than 3 decades, he has stood as one of reggae's most uncompromising voices, a cultural agitator who chose truth over comfort and consciousness over commercial ease. Loved by many, but by sharpening it. His journey has never been smooth. It has been marked by spiritual conflict, poverty, exile from family comfort, censorship, controversy, and personal sacrifice. Yet through every trial, his voice only grew louder, his convictions firmer, and his impact deeper. Born Keith Anthony Blair on March 31, 1976, Anthony B. emerged from the quiet rural settlement of Clarkston in Trelawney Parish, Jamaica, a place far removed from global stages and international acclaim. His early world was shaped not by fame, but by faith. Raised in a deeply religious household, his childhood echoed with hymns, scripture, and strict moral discipline. His mother, a devout Seventh-day Adventist, and his grandmother, a committed revivalist, anchored the family in church life. Sundays were sacred, rules were firm, and expectations were clear. As a boy, Anthony learned to project his voice not in a studio, but in a church choir, where emotion, breath control, and spiritual intensity mattered more than polish. Even then, his voice carried weight, raw, commanding, and full of feeling. Despite financial hardship, he was a bright student, sharp-minded, and ambitious. His academic promise earned him a place at a private school where he planned to study accounting, envisioning a stable, respectable future. But life pressed hard. Poverty tightened its grip on the family, and education became a luxury they could no longer afford. Faced with the choice between survival and schooling, Anthony stepped away from formal education. It was a painful decision, one that closed one door while quietly opening another. As a teenager, his spiritual path took a dramatic turn. Drawn by questions of identity, justice, and African consciousness, he converted to Rastafarianism, specifically the Bobo Ashanti order. This was not a quiet transformation. It caused deep friction at home. His dreadlocks, beliefs, and worldview clashed violently with the Christianity that had shaped his upbringing. The tension grew unbearable, and eventually Anthony left Clarkston, moving to Portmore to live with his aunt and uncle. It was exile and liberation at once. Separation from family comfort, but freedom to become who he believed he was meant to be. Music became both refuge and weapon. In 1988, while still in high school, Anthony B. entered the sound system world as a DJ with the Shaggy high-power sound system. Night after night, he sharpened his skills in lyrical combat, learning how to command crowds, improvise under pressure, and speak directly to the people. These early years grounded him in Jamaica's grassroots music culture. Along the way, he crossed paths with other rising talents like Determined and Terra Fabulous, forming bonds in the crucible of competition and creativity. His recorded career officially began in 1993 with the single The Living is Hard. The title alone reflected his reality. He was not singing from imagination, he was documenting struggle. But it was his partnership with producer Richard Bello of Star Trail Records that would ignite his ascent. Together, they captured lightning. Songs like Fire Upon Rome and Raid the Bon were not merely hits, they were sonic uprisings. His debut album, Rio Revolutionary, 1996, announced Anthony B. as a new force in reggae, fearless, militant, and spiritually charged. That fearlessness came at a cost. Fire Upon Rome was banned from Jamaican radio during a tense election year, labeled dangerous and insurrectionist for its blistering critique of politicians, corruption, and corporate power. But the ban only amplified its impact. While institutions recoiled, the people listened harder. Anthony B. became known as a truth teller, unafraid to confront power head-on, earning him the reputation as one of reggae's most controversial figures. As the 1990s unfolded, he stood apart from the era's dominant slackness trends, choosing conscious reggae rooted in spirituality, Pan-Africanism, and political resistance. He dressed the message too, appearing on stage in Bobo Ashanti robes and turban, embodying Afrocentric pride and religious devotion. His performances were explosive, sweat-drenched, sermon-like, and relentless, as if each show were both a concert and a call to awakening. In 2002, determined to control his artistic destiny, Anthony B founded Born Fire Records. The name mirrored his essence. Through the label, he released projects like Street Knowledge and Life Over Death, deepening his independence and expanding his catalog. Over time, his output became staggering, over 30 studio albums and more than 1,000 singles, making him one of the most prolific artists in reggae history. His voice traveled far beyond Jamaica, reaching audiences across Europe, Africa, and North America, where he became a staple of international festivals. His influence crossed genres and borders through collaborations with global stars such as Snoop Dogg, Wyclef Jean, and Akon, extending his reach while maintaining his core message. Financially, his long career, relentless touring, and ownership of his music have paid off. By late 2025, his net worth was estimated at approximately $12 million, a testament to longevity, independence, and brand integrity rooted in Rastafarian advocacy. Yet, controversy continued to shadow him. Some of his lyrics drew criticism for homophobic content, leading to industry pushback and even the removal of a track before the release of his album On Tour. In 2013, he faced legal trouble in Georgia, USA, when he was arrested on marijuana-related charges. Anthony B maintained the substance belonged to band members, and after 2 years of legal limbo, the charges were dropped in 2015. Even within the music community, tensions surfaced, including a public feud with Taurus Riley following an incident at the 2017 Rebel Salute Festival. Through it all, bans, arrests, disputes, and family rejection, Anthony B remained rooted in his faith and purpose. Privately, he is a family man. Though fiercely protective of his personal life, he has spoken of his wife as a source of strength and inspiration, and often shares moments with his children, emphasizing unity, love, and responsibility. To him, family is not just blood, it is legacy. Today, Anthony B stands as a living contradiction to silence. From a church choir in Clarkstown to the world's biggest stages, his life tells the story of a man who chose conviction over convenience. He did not merely survive the fire, he was born from it, and he continues to burn, illuminating paths for those who listen.